Ruskaya parnaya have purified my body and eased my soul. Deep breath. Do you speak English? Хорошо. I cited at least 6 papers. I had no idea what they were. Я не криминал.
University is the biggest part of our life. We are going there every day, and each time we see their professors who usually look like serious professionals of their craft. But have you ever thought about the flip side of the coin? Professors actually are simple people with their own hobbies, interests, and the huge number of victories on that side of their life. And we are here to show up this side for you. Let's get started. Today is a big day because today is the first hour program, and we are glad to present you our first guest, the first hero in the history of our show, who is actually decided to be here today and use this opportunity. So the professor of St. Petersburg School of Social Science and Area Studies, the main representative of Hungary in the HSC, in simply friends of all upcoming political scientists, Andras Gal is here today, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, once again, because we know how hard it is for professors to find time, extra time for everything. So, how are you?
Thank you, fine. Just been to Banya less than 12 hours ago. A bit more than 12 hours ago, but my body got rid of all the poison it accumulated in the past few days. Unfortunately, I couldn't get venic treatment this time, but otherwise, all the vapors and the extra healing effects of Ruskaya parnaya have purified my body and eased my soul.
And for now, you are okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you can drink our kvass that we...
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. This is the perfect beginning of the show. So, I'm here with some interesting facts. Maybe interesting, maybe not, but still. Day of meeting of graduates took place in whole Russia a week ago at the first weekend of February. Have you ever heard about that?
This is something about Saint Tatiana.
Saint Tatiana? No, it's the day of students. It's the end of January.
Okay.
Yeah, and here is just the big celebration of ended school days for those who already finished school and now is working or something, or studying at university. So all students, all finishers of school, getting together in their schools, in their towns, in their cities, and celebrate somehow all this stuff. So do you have this in Hungary?
I cannot really recall any analogous events to this.
But sometimes, have you gathered with your schoolmates, with your teachers?
Yes, so in Hungary we have a reunion every 5 years, and it's the most formal in high school for some reason.
The most formal?
Yeah, in terms of it has to happen, and then there's a lot of preparation, and we just started. So this year will be my 15th anniversary of graduation from high school, and we already started talking about which day, which restaurant, what to do, who has still the archive photos. It's more increasingly difficult to find someone with these. So for university and middle school, primary school, it's kind of, if there was a strong community, it happens, but for high school, it's taken very seriously.
All right. We, for such an event in Russia, as far as we are in Russia, actually search all the sources of information that we had and found this picture of you. And look at this, boy. He's young, green. The science had no time to wrap him up yet.
Exactly.
And,
yes.
And the question is, how do you remember yourself in the ages of your students, being this young?
So in this age, when I was 17. Okay, yeah. So I think I had multiple phases in this case, and I think there are multiple ways of being an annoying teenager. So there's the rebellious one who just never does what he's supposed to do.
You were.
Not exactly. I was even worse. So I
Uh-huh.
was a self-righteous teenager who
Okay.
always knew better than even his parents that how things should be done, and had a very specific view of things that I had very limited knowledge about. But I was always represented with great confidence. Though, for instance, I was really opposed. So we had some teachers with some political preferences, and some of them were even vocal about it, and that was a type of political orientation I couldn't really agree with. So I just wanted to make sure that I send a strong signal that I'm different than them. I'm out of the system. So I just because back then printed media was a thing, and Hungary was like had a very different political arrangement. Like all the elections were really close and the country was really polarized. So I just bought the daily newspaper of the other side, put it under my shoulder, but just in a way that you could see which is it, and made it sure that, and by walking next to those teachers, they could see that I'm reading this or this daily, and whatever comment they say, they should know that they can expect some critical comments. But well, yeah. So I think I was an annoying teenager in a self-righteous way, but on the other hand, I was also I kind of can remember myself as being like a community-minded person. So I was really happy to, even though I grew up in a small town, I was going to a very historical high school, and also when I was talking to my friends who were going to other schools, I could say that, by the way, we have all these traditions. What do you have? What you've got?
Yes, and we are all attended this.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. But then also I have to say that my other problem was I didn't really have too much to rebel against. So my parents are really lenient. So after my age of 13, they said like, just go to bed whenever you feel like you can get enough sleep. So
Eat more.
yeah.
Sleep
So
more.
sometimes, for instance, I remember that like in Hungary, the weather is already pretty good in May. It's like almost close to summer. And then we cultivated this habit of going to the next lake closest to our city after football games. And usually, a Champions League game ended around like 10:30, 11 p.m. local time. And then, yeah, I just remember like heading to some lake and going in there in the dark. And retrospectively, it wasn't the best idea. But then we felt like we are young and the world is ours.
Of course. But you are here, beautiful, alive, and we
Yes.
are also here. And like football, do you play now? I know that like in Tavrishki Sad there are some meetings of foreigners who are trying
Okay.
like to play football and maybe basketball sometimes.
I didn't know that this is for foreigners. Good to know because I live close to Tavrichevsky Sad. But in my first year in St. Petersburg, I was like 2 years ago, I was playing for a bit with one of my classmates from CU. So and
Here they're also here.
yes, so as a fun fact, when I did my MA at CU in 2014, 2015, there were more Russians than Hungarians in our class. And the fact that my best friends from that class happened to be people from St. Petersburg greatly contributed to my decision to come
here.
to live here too. Yes. So I was playing football with his classmates, which is a very interesting social experience because I could meet the whole social strata of St. Petersburg, from policemen to lawyers to freelance journalists. So it was a very interesting experience. Then I had some back issues and cannot play football anymore. But
But still, if for example some student decided to invite you to play with them, will you join?
it depends on how my back is doing, but I would
Okay.
really love to do so, yes. Well, I think if they could utilize me in the defense, I wouldn't turn down an invitation.
Okay, so take into account. Now, Russia has announced the year of the teacher and mentor. Last year was dedicated for Arctic, as far as I know, and like each year, Russia proclaims like some topic of the year. It was theaters, it was something else. So now it is teacher and mentor. So what would you conduct for your proteges, like in the framework of this theme, framework of this topic?
So this is the year of the teacher.
So you have the whole year.
Well, there are a lot of important skills that students need to learn, even beyond how to select a case for their research, and beyond how to write a good position paper. I think it's very important that students would learn like what kind of coffee to drink. Whenever I'm going to coffee shops nearby the university, sometimes I'm in horror seeing various choices. And when I see familiar faces, like ordering not like a normal coffee, but this like soup-side mugs with a lot of foam milk. In itself, foam milk is okay, but like just like sugar and pumpkin spices and
Something else. Yeah.
interesting. So some students need to learn how to savor coffee better. I also think that maintaining and cultivating a sufficiently colorful wardrobe is also an important life skill that many people don't manage to attain by their late 20s or 30s. So, and where else should they learn it as in university?
Especially in the HSC, because like self-expression now university is like a thing.
Yes,
a real thing.
Absolutely.
Some professors look like teenagers and some students look like
Business people
who have a family, cat, dog, 3 children, and so yeah, it is a really important thing. Okay, so you would conduct just some meetings in order to show students how to drink coffee, what to wear.
Yeah, and I think another important life skill is like, for instance, how to network. Like, but of course, there's this strategic side of like when to slip out your business card and how to present yourself. I'm not talking about that. So actually, like meeting with interesting people does have can be interesting, and sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not. So, for instance, when a very famous philosopher, theoretician or scholar of democratic theory, Thomas Cristiano, visited Budapest, then I was just writing a chapter where I was kind of ripping off one of his arguments. So I said, like, that's an excellent opportunity for me to ask him that, like, Professor Christian, am I actually using your theory right, or am I abusing it? And I wrote to our head of department, and he said that it's a very good idea. I set up a meeting between you. And before his talk, we had like a half an hour one-on-one. That's been extremely useful for the theoretical part of my dissertation. Now, fast forward 2 years later, I attended a conference in London, and we had this like kind of buffet lunch, and we just had to find a spot somewhere. And I was also kind to be like modest that like I'm not the most important person here. I'm sure that these important professors wanted to see each other too.
Teenage spirit already gone.
Exactly. The only person free at the conference, like at the dining table, was Professor Cristiano. And then we met 2 years ago. I'm sure he doesn't remember me. And we just started eating, and he asked like, where am I from? I'm from CU. I said we actually met 2 years ago, but probably you don't remember. I said no, I do remember. And then we started talking about like and what. So could you remind me what your research is about? I started explaining, and then 2 minutes later, oh, I actually remember you. so there's this politeness. So remembering faces, remembering a research topic is not really easy, especially if you're deep into your own thoughts and ideas. And producing ideas is something that takes away people's chances. But for instance, if you just talking about political philosophy, Jerry Cohen was like a very humorous person, and if you just go to his YouTube channel, he's not alive anymore, but his former PhD students are running his YouTube channel, are having just brilliant videos about him parodizing other philosophers. And don't tell me that like there is no informal meeting when people can have a fun time around this, especially when Professor Cohen explains the German idea of freedom. It's strongly imitated, emulated speech. So in terms of like being always walking this fine line between remaining meaningful, talking about meaningful stuff, but also just like having an ease. And I think that's also an important life skill.
But not all professors think that actually education should be interactive by itself. So education is something serious, strict, disciplined thing. And like professors are professors, there should be some gradation in the position between students and professors and someone else. So you don't think so?
No. I think so. Firstly, in the university I think only a part of the knowledge that students acquire could be coming from me, but a good share should also come from their peers. That's the first thing. The second is that if there is a dialogue, I think my students are smart enough to bring up ideas that I would have not thought about and could be inspiring for me too. So this is one thing. And the other is that, my students are not really legally adults, but they are attending this program because of their own choice. Probably they have their own ideas. And so, for instance, that's one of the things that makes a lot of my students uncomfortable. But I do this because I want them to understand this principle that, we should have a more eye-level discussion, and they shouldn't always think about what might the professor expect from me, but like, what is the thing I make out of this topic? What is the idea I see? So, for instance, I insist that students should call me in my first name, which I understand in Russian culture is a bit challenging for some because I have no отчество. So I remember some years ago for one of the class I had to invent that. So my father is called János, which is closest to Ivan. So in this regard, I would be Andras Ivanovich, and I started getting emails this way. But otherwise, so beyond trying to deny the fact that I'm aging, I think that insisting on this kind of more eye-level, informal nexus of communication must have an important message for students too.
I will call you Andras Ivanovich yet. Since that time. Okay. And we also know that you have another part of your life, like it's completely not connected with academic. And who didn't know about that? Like we printed some pictures of Andras that actually is located in his Instagram.
Okay.
So, like, can you imagine that this person who is sitting here is the author of these pictures? So, Andras, tell you a little bit about this, your hobby.
Well, I mean, on the one hand, I think posting on social media regularly is kind of like having an open diary. So some people are having blogs, some people are posting pictures. Originally, I registered on Instagram because of a friend who was living in India back then, and who was very fond of motorcycling. And he was actually traveling like half the subcontinent and said, like, why don't you share pictures with me? Register on Instagram. I said, okay. And then I realized that especially it's really interesting for my parents' generation, traveling to back then Leningrad was the kind of the major touristic destination. For a lot of people, visiting Russia in a kind of touristic way is a little bit exotic. And they were, whatever I posted, I think they got really interested. Well, so this is one side. So why I'm posting so much. I mean, probably it's also about like, people who are being used to that the people are listening to them have this like sense of like, I always need to express myself. This might be some subconscious thing, but then I don't know. Probably I should talk about this with a therapist, not in front of the cameras. On the other hand, well, I do like I'm really interested in photography as a genre, but on the other hand, I just find the idea very interesting that while a photograph could be just something that reports what's happening, even when you report it, the angle you choose makes a difference. And then on the other hand, if you want to highlight an atmosphere from a place, or you want to really not only convey how a place looks like, but how it feels being there.
Yes.
That's always nice. What I try to get the closest to.
Yeah, that's good. That's nice. And now let's try to put yourself on the other side of the screen in our like mini game. So the first game, it's time to be an actor, but it's nothing serious, it's nothing harsh. We just created a situation and created a special role for you. You will be a professor in the university.
Okay, how unfamiliar.
Yes, I think you might be the best here. And some students decided to like to make you happy and to gift you some bliny for Maslenitsa. You know, at the end of February, yes, there will be famous Russian traditional celebration of this like Maslenitsa week, and student decided like to make you happy with that. But nobody knows which reaction will like continue by you. So reaction is here. So this is for reactions. You just try to you take one.
Okay.
You read it, and you are trying to react on this gift accordingly with what is written here.
Okay.
Okay, Blinny.
And I should study then.
Yeah, Blinny is here.
Beautiful.
So,
Wait, sorry. Sorry, what did you... I, I can't really understand.
like, look, Blinny, we made it for you.
You mean this is Blinny? This is my picture, it's not Blinny.
No, this is your picture, but
Right.
Blinny is here, look. This is one with strawberry jam, with another jam.
Is this some kind of social construction, what you're, presenting here?
Okay, I think we can stop here. The best answer we might hear. Okay, and the card was?
I cannot see Blinny and I have no idea what Lisa's talking
Okay,
about.
perfect. Social construction is everything.
Okay.
All right, the next. Okay, this is Blinny, Andras. We prepared it for you.
Thank you, that's very, very kind of you. I really appreciate it.
Really, would you like to taste it now?
I just take it home and then I will taste it. I will write you on VK how did I
Okay,
like it.
okay. Maybe you will send out pictures or videos where you will eat it.
Pictures.
Okay, you probably don't like Blinny at all.
Yeah, which is not true, but this is the role.
Okay. Okay, so students, it's not true. Maybe someone decided to take some Blinny for Andras next week.
This is beautiful. How do you say in Russian? It's прекрасный. It's just amazing. And how round shape and it's just like a statistical model with p-value less than 0.5.
All right.
It's beautiful.
Okay, it's also the best comment that you may say. And this is a card.
This
You
is the
probably
most
like it very
beautiful food you've ever seen.
Beautiful food. So okay, okay. Thank you very much. And our first game ended. And right now we are going to eat Blinny. Maybe it's not so warm already because we were talking, they were laying and so on. But another game. This is a quiz time.
Okay.
And we call it Blinny quiz, Blinny Victorina. Why? Because we will show you questions. I also don't know the answers. So we together will try to find out the right comments on it. And if you are right and I'm wrong, you choose blin for me and I have to eat it. And vice versa. If I am right, I choose blin for you. The trick is that blini had different fillings. Yes, and maybe it's not so simple like just jam.
Blin with ikra, maybe. Yeah?
Maybe with ikra. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And we are starting our quiz. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, and the question is, how many time zones are there in Russia?
Okay, well, this is embarrassing because I've been living here for so long. I should know. Okay,
I'm living here for the whole life, but I'm not sure still.
So, Vladivostok, as far as I understand, is 7 hours ahead of us. So that's 8 time zones. Plus Kaliningrad. I would bet for 9.
9?
Yes.
9. I think less. I think it's 6.
Okay.
Let's check. 11.
So no blini.
No.
Go for that one on the edge.
That one?
No, on the edge. Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check it. Some kind of ASMR for the audience. It's nice. It's like wild berries jam. So it's delicious. I like it. Okay, next question. What is the current population of Saint P?
Well, firstly, only the Almighty God knows.
Yes. I think it is about like several millions, maybe 5?
5.3, let's say.
5.3. Okay, let's say 5.3. Okay, you're closer again.
Okay, so
Okay,
go for
choose
this one, please.
this one. Everything probably. This time it shouldn't be so nice, I suppose. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure. completely not sure. It tastes like frutanyanya, but I don't recommend to eat it like each time on Maslenitsa неделя. It's not the best one, not the worst one, but still.
Not great, not terrible.
Yes. What is the current population of Hungary? Do you know?
Yes, 9.3.
I also think that it's 9.3. Let's check.
No, this is the previous census data.
The data is outdated.
Because the census results came out very recently. But actually, according to the previous census, yes, so 2 months ago, that was the actual number.
Okay, but you see, we together know the right answer, so let's find
Okay, so
choose
now-
Blinny for each other. Okay, you took this one,
Okay.
and me.
I'm so hungry. I'm going for this one.
Okay. What it is? Okay, is it tasty?
It is, but I can't identify what it is. Maybe it has some. It's a savory one. It has some kind of touch of mushroom in it.
Mushroom.
Such blinis exist.
I'm not sure about bliny, but I think the filling might be like mushroom sauce.
Okay.
And I have here, I really don't know, it's kind of leche, Georgian leche or something. But it is tasty, but it's not conventional
Yeah.
like taste of bliny. Okay. What are CO2 emissions per capita in Hungary in tons?
Wow.
I'm sure that you don't know the answer on it.
Yeah. I don't
What
know.
is an adequate like emission per
Yeah,
capita?
this is something I also don't know. Because our CO2 emission is kind of fine because most of the country's heavy industry went bankrupt
Yeah.
in the 1990s. I just have no idea what 3.
Okay, 3.
I just said it because
Let it be like less. I'm not sure that like it's too much. Let it be 2.3. Oh no. Okay, let's choose once again. You eat this one, and I.
go for this one.
Okay. I have cheese sauce.
Blackberry jam, boring.
Boring,
It's nice, but
tasty. Cheese sauce. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. And the last game we wanted to conduct, it's simple and it's called I Know Myself. There will be just 3 questions concerning some information that we know about you. If you don't guess, you should tell us like a fun story from your life, like any story.
okay.
The first question: do you know how many courses you have conducted in the HSC in general?
That's a good question. I don't know, 10?
Possible options: 13, 11, 16, and 14.
I guess the lowest number is like 11, right?
11?
Yes.
No,
Really?
it's 14.
Okay.
And this is like 7 programs for masters, 6 for bachelors, and 1 optional course. Okay, so you didn't guess, and you have a floor to tell us a story from your life.
Right. So in my first year of Russia, my Russian is slowly progressing, but back then it was nowhere near where my Russian is right now. So whenever I had to sort out something, usually there was someone accompanying me, either someone from the HR department or one of the students. But then I had to get a document on a very short notice, and everyone said that Andras, we'd love to help you, but unfortunately no one is available. So no problem. I mean, Google Translate will help me. So I went to the UFMC at Angliski Prospect, and I typed in my cell phone that I need this like certificate on my lack of criminal record. Showed it to the security guard. He helped me pick a number. I kind of knew that I have to wait, so I was reading my book, and then all of a sudden I see my number on the display, and I had to go to like a basement where the window was. And I just thought I would pull out the same thing, and the lady will give me the certificate. And I just open my screen, and you have this like dinosaur in Google Chrome
Okay.
when
Not
there's
found
no
it.
internet. So as I was walking there, Google Chrome wanted to refresh itself, the internet left, and the text that I already typed there was gone. Deep breath. Do you speak English? Okay. Another deep breath. So I just thought that I have these like legal-ish terms from Latin and French. I tried to pronounce them in a Slavic way, and then maybe that will help. So I said, "Można atestacja niekryminalna." Ja nie kryminal. And then the lady kind of, I guess she understood because хорошо. She said, always like put some paper, podpis, that I understood that I need to sign. I signed at least 6 papers. I had no idea what they were. But then I just like podpis, stamp with great anger. And then I just got like a bunch of papers and I said like, I thought I'm coming for a single document and I signed at least 6 papers.
Oh, it's Russia.
And then I brought it to the department. I said, "Wow, Andras, like did you suddenly learn how to do how to speak Russian?" No, I just like played a lot of activity in my childhood, so I know how to like show things and draw things and other stuff.
You never know which skills will helpful in
Exactly.
life. Yes, that's why it's important to study languages, study Russian. So, Andras, thank you once again
Thank you
for
for the
being
invitation.
here. Yeah, thank you. And like, have a good day, have a good evening. I hope you like our Blinny. If you want, we
Absolutely.
will provide you with some.
Thank you. That's been a great
The rest.
warm-up, run-up for Maslenitsa. So
Yes, warm
thank you
up.
very much.
So we hope that your students will have an idea after this podcast to bring some bliny and food for you as well,
Brilliant. Thank
in
you.
order to make you happy. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a nice meeting. So we are done. Можно все.